Welcome friends. Now we'll be taking the topic of globalization, right? I think you may be already knowing globalization, but let us see what we will cover in this particular course. Definition of globalization, global integration, pros and cons, effect of globalization, social perspective, factors that lead to the globalization in 21st century, benefits of globalization, effects of globalization, and effect of globalization on Indian industry. Whether it is positive, negative, mostly it is all positive only, but so to say, we are going to analyze both. WTO, World Trade Organization, and globalization and future of Indian economy. You know, how it is going to help us and how we are going to get a new future due to this globalization, right? So this is what we'll be covering in this particular. So let us see the definition of globalization, right? Globalization is the system of interaction among the countries of the world in order to develop a global economy. So all 200 plus countries, they are supposed integrated and the world order is formed to develop global economy. So it is like what we say is a global village, but it is global village and global economy, right? Now we'll see how this global integration is really viewed, you know. So globalization refers to the integration of economies and societies all over the world. Globalization involves the technological, economical, political, cultural exchanges made possible largely by the advances in the communication, transportation, infrastructure. There are two types of integrations, negative and positive integration. So what is negative integration? Is the breaking down of the trade barriers or protective barriers such as tariffs and quotas. You must have heard about a lot of customs duties are there and the quota system is there and you are unable to export or you are unable to import. So these trade barriers are to be suppose removed or it has to broken down. So the removal of these barriers can be beneficial for a country if it is allows the products that are important and essential to the economy, right? So this will be the breaking of these barriers will help the economy. For example, by eliminating the barriers, the cost of the imported raw material will go down. See, basically the custom duty will get reduced, so the product which you have imported, the cost will come down. So your raw material will be down, right? And what will happen? The supply will increase, making the cheaper to produce the final product. So as the, there is a surplus availability due to import also. So what will happen? The raw material cost goes down because there is already a support of, trade barrier. So we are breaking down, means we are reducing the trade barrier. So custom duty is less. So on the raw material getting imported, the duty comes down. So it becomes a cheaper. So it cheaper the raw material, cheaper is the production cost. So it will help to export. So like electronic car parts and clothes and all these are the raw materials. And then we are making the finished product out of it. Like from electronics, we are making some gadgets, electronic gadgets or TV or VCR or whatever the CD player or the any gadgets. Those are based on electronics or mobile phones and so on and so forth. Or the car, actual car, then clothes to apparels and all this kind of thing. So negative integration is the breaking down of trade barriers. So definitely it is going to help us, right? Now, what is the positive integration? Positive integration, on the other hand, aims for the standardization of the international economic laws and policies. For example, a country which has its own policies on taxation trades with another country with set of policies of that country on that tariffs, policies on tariffs. Likewise, these countries have their own policies on tariffs. With positive integration and the continuation of the growth of the influence of the globalization, these countries will work on similar or identical policies on tariffs. So you will find that if the tariffs are similar, it is very easy to import or export the products. So this is a positive integration. So this is a standardization international economic laws, right? So normally it has been observed into like European Union or NAFTA or SAARC kind of countries together. So there is the same laws, economic laws, right? So what we have seen here is a type of integrations, negative and positive integration. So breaking down of trade barriers, protective barriers such as tariffs and quotas will help us. And positive integration means standardization of the international economic laws so that the same own policies of taxations with the trades. So it is a continuous influence of the globalization. So it will help to make the identical tariffs and can help the trade. Now, there are pros and cons, as we have said, though there are very less cons, but still we'll see. You must have seen in this diagram the integration of economies, the equality or inequality, communication, if there is the same kind of communication and technology. So it is very easy during the similar kind of economic laws. But suppose some country is lagging behind in that technology or that kind of tariffs. So what will happen? It will have the problems and it will suffer. Those countries will suffer and their businesses will suffer. So for a continual growth, if the similar economic laws are there, or the trade barriers are disintegrating, or it is getting dissolved slowly, or the duties coming down and at very down level, then your raw material will be produced more and more. But sometimes that is due to environment, they are not producing and somebody is producing, so that country gets polluted, the cities get polluted, or the money begets money, poverty begets poverty. So there is an exploitation happens in some country because raw material is cheaper from outside, so they are totally depending on the imports. And if the prices goes up and there is a scarcity, so there are pros and cons. Like capitalism is there, the cultural difference is there. Should not consume this item, but it is required. There are free trade agreement. Some countries have with some country, and they are able to manage a good business. But those who are having a kind of one-man show economy or one-man show government, then what happens? Or a particular dictating kind of government, then it becomes very difficult, and the custom duties are very high, and the product getting imported is costlier. So it becomes really a problem for development of that, and infrastructure also doesn't develop that much. Technology also plays a very important role, that some countries, advanced countries, have got artificial intelligence and helping of the satellites and all that, and the other countries doesn't have. So you will find that these countries, those who don't fall in line with the world trade organizations or similar kind of tariffs and openness in the economy, so they will be suffering, and other countries may not be able to help them also. So this is very important topic of the globalization, and WTO and IMF and this financial institution are helping them to take forward these developing countries or underdeveloped countries to the same forum or the same equality. It will take some time, but over the years, you will find that, like India, we're having around 200% of the duties in 80s. Then in 90s, it has come down to about 100%. And from there today, if you talk after another decade or so, it is only 5 to 10% basic custom duties in most of the items. So it is really, we have come a long way from 200% to a 10% duty or maximum 20%. I'm talking about customs duty. So India is progressed, and so India is opened up, and so we got the raw material cheaper, so we can produce the the finished product at a cheaper cost, and we are able to export it. So how we can fill in this gap of balance of payment, and how to cater the best brands in the world available to the people, So due to globalization. So now we have to see what is the effects of globalization. With the globalization, the improvement in the international trade is happening. We have seen into our earlier course also, and international marketing, that what are the basis of international trade, why it happened. So the globalization is also very important happening, and due to that, because of that, the number of countries where the product can be sold or purchased increasing dramatically. Suddenly India started exporting to 120, then 150 and 200 countries. And similarly, the many countries started importing India's item, and India started importing their item. So this trade has been dynamically or very aggressively countries are going, and because there is a markets available which are starving for these products, right? And same way we can get also, which we are starved with the product, we can get it. So it is a very positive effect of globalization, and that is what we need to study. And how we can get benefited to our own countries. So technological progress, because of this need to compete compete globally, government have upgraded their technology, or they have opened up the licenses. They have opened up to 4G, then 5G, then maybe it will come 6G and 7G, and I don't know what will be the. It is a never-ending thing. Then AI has come, then augmented reality has come, and so many new things have been coming. And in the IT sector also, we are having so many softwares which are very advanced, and with which actually we are able to ship the cargoes in the or on the sea from one ship to another ship, and we don't have to call the vessel to our port, and we can upload it probably in the mid sea also. So there are so many technological advances will be coming, or we will be managing from the satellite, the whole traffic, or like GPS, what we are getting, so global positioning system by which we are able to travel anywhere with this maps. So same way, even the traffic can be also put in forward of the cargo, international cargo, because 80 to 90% of the trade is happening, international trade is happening through sea. Increasing influence of the multinational companies. Now, because these economies are opening up and it is a one global village, so many multinational companies, those who can put in subsidiaries onto these countries of, say India or any other countries, or India can put the multinational companies can put their own subsidiary, and it will become really a chance to go to various countries at a time, and you can reap the benefits of 20% or more, and can call as a multinational company also. So often the head office is found in the country where the company has been established. But the rise of multinational corporation begins with the after the World War II, and with the World War II, and the large companies are referred to the countries where the subsidiaries reside as a host country. So they are almost like a home country enterprise. So what we are going to do here, the globalization has a lot to do with the rise of multinational corporations. So we have also a very, very big important thing, and then it will help us to go in a multinational way. Power of WTO, World Trade Organization, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank. According to experts, and another effect of globalization, it is the strengthening of the power and influence of the international institutions such as WTO and IMF and the World Bank. So what is happening is, this is all going to help the companies and the countries to go globally, and it will have, now you can see this particular picture that no, you have not to outsource the homework from India. So it has gone to such an extent, this outsourcing, even the kids are getting homework done from the another country, or we are able to do high-tech work from the another country, personal. And now after this pandemics, even we don't have to go there and to do. So, but on the Zoom or with this, whatever the tools and applications are available, this exercise can be sent over there, or work can be sent over there, and it can be done from remote place and can be uploaded. What we are seeing, all this, the platforms of the cloud computing and cloud storages, it is going to really make a lot of difference. And then there is data sources, data power, and so many new applications are coming up. So you will find that you are sitting in any country, doesn't matter. The storage is there and you can access it from anywhere. And all offices can get linked in every day morning as if you are appearing in that office, and everybody can discuss. So with this effects of globalization, again, these are all coming, all positive effect what we are seeing. Greater mobility of the human resources across the countries. So, where there is excess manpower and there is, technical manpower, so those countries can take up these human resources also, and allows the countries to source the manpower. Even now, as I just said, that no need to go over there also. Now you can sit in your own country and contribute it. And only once in a while, if you want just to sign some agreements also, or even digitally also these days, we are signing all digital agreement. So it is really going cost cutting, and by sitting anywhere you can manage this, and the human resources only has to be made available, and you are paying for their charges and can do the business. The greater outsourcing of the business processes to other countries like China and India, what IT and all these sectors are doing it. Philippines are tremendously benefiting from the trend of global business outsourcing. So when you go to a Middle East, you will find that all these countries, people, China or India or Philippines. So maybe their grades of working is different, or the community is helping in doing so much of the great jobs, by outsourcing it. So what it is going to be helpful, these global companies in the US and Europe will take the advantage of this cheaper labor and highly skilled workers, and countries like India and Philippines can offer them, so that the cost becomes down. So the expanse of business is huge, the turnover is huge, and the cost is down. So you can still offer at a better cost and you can benefit it. Then again, another point is civil society. An important trend in the globalization is the increasing influence of the broadening of the scope of the global civil society. So normally we say that why don't you follow civil law, or you have to be civilized person. So there will be a global trend of humanity and doing the business, lowering the tariff, offering the best of the services, best of the technology. So all these things can be available, and if the society and the civil society and the kind of dealing with the people is improvised, then it is going to be really helpful, and people will be doing peacefully and very humanly things, and so there are hardly any problems onto that. Again, the social perspective, as we have discussed, that some countries are taking up this kind of what we call social regimes, and trying to get the things as per the global perspective. But in social perspective, if certain people are having this facility, so you will find in this diagram that they are getting benefited and they are improving, and those who are stopping to enter or open up their economy, so those people will suffer, or their children will suffer. So we need to really bridge this gap and educate that people. And I think all this WTO, IMF, and World Bank, by giving the assistance and seeing that they can economically also grow and come to that point that everything is available, similar platform to everybody in every country. So the civil society, this work is done by the NGOs, that is non-government organizations, and they are institutions in a country that are established to run by the citizens. So they may be aided by some organization, or the Bill Gates, or maybe WTO, or private, or these institutions, but they are working for a cause. So this civil society help is done by this non-government organization, and they are really playing a very good role, in developing this one culture and one civil society, so that everybody is at par as far as the benefits are concerned and opening of the economy. So this family of an institution is a part of the society in globalization, and the global city society refers to the organization that advocate a certain issue or a cause. So if there is any issue or a problem, then it will be raised, and they will talk to the respective governments in those countries and try to help them, especially the women's right, and there are promotion for the environmental issues and preservations, and there are organizations work to counter the government policies, but rather to establish the policies which are beneficial to all. So basically, not only money-wise or so, but environment-wise, human rights-wise, so it becomes a really good society. So both the government and NGO has to have the same goal of servicing the people. So we need to educate people through these all financial institutions, NGOs, and government should come together. So that will spread the globalization, led together with the influence of the NGOs, especially in the greater concern areas of human rights and environment and children and workers. That below some age, 12 age or 13 age will be the minor, and after say adult age is 16 or 18, it will depend on. Even the marriage age has to be going to 21. Earlier, suppose in India it was 16, now it is going up to 21. So this is very important, so that the person is get educated, and we are getting into that. So this all plays a very important role. So together, the growing influence of the NGOs and increasing power of multinational corporations to make available the product, if the trend continues, then globalization will pave the way to the realization of the full potential of these important global factors. So I think we have been able to, talk on, the social perspective, the effect of the globalization, and how the economy and positive integration, negative integration, and how it is going to benefit it. Of course, as we said, there are pros and cons, but you will find that it is a positive impact is to very great extent, and that is why we are able to reach you with this model of YouTube and this course launched on online. So it never imagined the whole scenario changed in the pandemic. It has forced companies to work from home culture and coming on the line and doing this job. Of course, it has little like some problems like it is working like a 24/7 that you are at home and just connect and get it. So, but these are minors and that can be also standardized and the companies will work. So, in the next session, we'll see the factors which lead to the globalization in the 21st century. I hope the first part of it, the definition of globalization, and the various perspectives and effects of globalization, what it is happening, and how NGOs and things are working on to helping the mankind in the various countries. Thank you so much. Till we meet in the next session. Bye.